an urban gardener, I use all different types of techniques to grow plants, even hydroponics, even though that's not my primary technique. Um, One of the techniques we use, of course, is container gardening. And if you're going to grow in containers, you got to keep in mind the size really does matter. Sometimes you want a bigger container, sometimes you want a smaller container. Even a raised bed is a container. So with our raised beds, I think our biggest raised beds is 12 feet by 3 feet. But we grow in containers as small as 12 inch. That's a 12-inch pot right there. To illustrate the benefits, the pros and cons of container gardening, we're going to take our collard greens. Yes, we love collard greens as part of our culture and heritage, and they're one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables, as we pointed out to you before, that you can eat. Our ancestors, or let me go back, when the European invaders came in, they found, and we talking about back in the 15th century, they found that we were already cultivating collards in the Caribbean. All right, so I love collard greens. They're nutrient dense. They taste good. They're part of our tradition and culture, and I'm not ashamed of that. I know many people steer clear of collard greens, and they do not recommend eating them. In fact, they discourage you from eating them. Anyway, that being said, so this collard green plant here is being grown in a 12-inch pot. All right, now, if you're going to grow collard greens, as I showed you before, in a 12-inch pot, you can do that, but you're going to have a smaller plant. But the benefit or the pro about growing in a 12-inch pot is that you can easily move it. So this is one hand, I'm picking it up. I can move it over there, I can move it over here, wherever I want it, I can move it, all right? And I did that with one hand. Now the pot can break, I will say that. So you gotta use two hands, but I'm holding the camera with one hand. All right, so that's the 12-inch pot, and we still are able to grow collard greens. This leaf here is about the size of my hand, which isn't too bad. All right, so let's come over here and look at the 15-inch pot. A 15-inch container here. As you can see, the plant is a little larger, and this leaf is bigger than my hand. You can't even see my hand, but I'm holding the leaf up with my hand. All right, so you're going to have a larger plant in the 15-inch pot. Now let's come back over here and look at the collard green that we have growing in the 22-inch pot. This is so big that you can't even see the pot. And let me get in so we can compare the size of the leaf to the size of my hand. That's my hand right there. And that's the leaf. That's about 2.5 of my hands. All right. Big plant. But the con about this is that it's going to be very hard to move it because it's in such a heavy pot. The pro is that you only have to grow one plant, and you got plenty of collard greens. All right, so let's come down, because I can't move the ground, so we're going to come down to one of our raised beds. You saw the 12-inch pot, you saw the 15-inch pot, and you saw the 22-inch pot. This is our raised bed that we transplanted those other plants from. All right, and these are big leaves too. That's my hand as compared to the leaf. And we've been harvesting them since what, June, July? And they're now about 3.5 feet tall. One of the issues is that the birds keep landing on the leaves and snapping them off. But this is a nice leaf right here. We can use that in a collard green wrap or something. So I'm just going to take that one. Go ahead and finish harvesting it. Boom. So here we have two plants growing pretty much too close together, but they're both about 3.5 feet tall. That's a little taller right there. I don't know if you can see that through the basil. We're going to have a lot of basil this year because we got seeds everywhere. And so that is the difference. This is about about 5 feet, 5 square feet of vegetables in here, and we got 2 big collard greens there. So the downside of growing in a raised bed is, of course, you can't move it. And these plants are so close together that if this plant is being hit, which it is, I just see the damage just now, by a garden enemy, then this plant is also probably going to be hit. Let me come up in here and see if this has any damage. Not a lot of damage, but there is some damage here. All right, so that's the difference between growing in smaller, larger, and very large containers. We got collard greens for days here. We could probably sell them if we wanted to. That's how many collard greens we have. I didn't show you some of the other collard greens, but that's pretty much it. Remember, 12 inches, you can grow in 12 inches, but you'll have to move that pot around, and you'll be able to do so. You're going to have smaller leaves. That's not a big problem. The 15-inch pot, you can move it around, but it's very heavy. You're going to have larger leaves. The 22-inch container, you're going to have monster collard greens, and the in-ground collards can pretty much grow to their full potential. Just remember to put enough space in between them. Anyway, hope that's been helpful. Enjoy your greens, and if you're urban gardening, don't be discouraged if you have small space, because you can use smaller containers to grow. This has been Daku. Peace.